Hello you guys, and happy Tuesday. Feels super good to get back into the daily vlogging here. I hope you're having a great day. Today was awesome. Maybe it sounds boring, but I feel like in general, it's just been a lot of awesome days here, and I don't really have anything negative to report. My favorite thing that I did today was I had letters I wrote for everyone. This is just from a student who was absent, but I just cut sheets of notebook paper in half, wrote a little message, and then gave them today, and it was by far the highlight. I had a chance to kind of express to the kids how they matter to me and why they make my experience so positive and why I love coming to work. I didn't anticipate it, but I did actually get a little teary in all the classes, especially first hour. I don't think because I was prepared. That was the first time I gave this speech. I was like, oh man, and I managed to hold it together a little bit. But at the same time, I'm totally fine with that. There's already been a couple classes this year I've laughed to the point of crying twice. And then now, crying out of like love and feeling so appreciative that I have these students. And, in the past, like I might have thought, well, that's not really good to be crying as a teacher. I mean, you want to have it like together. But one thing I love is that I keep feeling like I'm more vulnerable and opening up more and just being more who I actually am. And it goes over well, students want to know if you care about them to the point that you're gonna like start crying a little bit. Like they want to know that, and it's not like, oh, shame on you for being emotional like that. I think it's a good thing. And so yeah, even though I got a little emotional with it, I'm just really happy. And like, what a privilege to feel that way. What a privilege to have students that make you feel so happy to be at work and so appreciative, because I genuinely do. Like I'm loving this year so much, and you forget how good it feels when you don't have it. And then when you have it, and it's like, oh, this feels amazing. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I wrote the letters, and it was so sweet. One student in the hallway, just as I was doing hallway duty, he said, I'm gonna keep my letter forever. And then he was talking a little bit about something I mentioned in the letter of it. And I was just like, oh, that's exactly why I do it. I think I mentioned in yesterday's video talking about how for wanting to write them, because I wrote these little thank you notes to kids last year. It was partially like a strategy to try to build classroom rapport and to try to build relationships. And I saw so many students had kept them throughout the year, and it's like, man, that must really mean something. Writing letters is something that sounds, great in theory, and it's something I always love doing. But after you've written however many, it's like, oh, my hand is tired. I think I ended up breaking this round of 117 letters up over about 2 weeks. I had started one and then had written some each day. Last night I finished up like the last class of them. I was like, we're doing this, 25 more. And yeah, so it was really meaningful to give them out. It's definitely still early in the year, so I don't know the kids fully yet, as I will, in May when they are getting ready to graduate. But yeah, it's just a privilege, I feel pretty lucky. So that's kind of where my head's at, and just I think that it's a good thing to be vulnerable and to be open about our feelings. And kind of on a more serious note, the way I think about it too, it just along the lines of you never know what's going to happen, and wanting to always put yourself out there or put your feelings out there, just because you never know if that's the last interaction you'll have with that person. I did write letters to my students at the end of last year. Those were full-page letters. That was a journey. That took a really long time. I was very happy I did it, and I think those letters meant a lot to people, because I know, they have meant a lot to me, many of them. And, so I was happy I did it for that reason. But then also what I did not expect, one of my students from last year actually passed away during the summer. In those kind of situations, anytime there's an unexpected or tragic death, especially of a young person, you wonder, what could I have done? How could we have changed things? And it was a medical thing, so obviously there's not maybe as much that I could have physically done to help stop the cancer or stop a medical condition. But what I am really grateful for is that I wrote that letter to her. It was a full-page letter, gave it to her at the end of the year, so at least she knew like how I felt about her and how wonderful I thought she was. And that matters. Like, that's a more deeper or serious note, but yeah, it's something, out of all the love languages, there's the idea of giving gifts or receiving gifts, spending quality time, physical touch, like there's all of them. I'm definitely a words of affirmation person. So my favorite way to receive gifts, not physical gifts, but like if a kid or another person writes me a letter or an email, that's the best, or just tells me, you know, that I matter to them, like that gets me the most. And then likewise, it's my favorite thing to give. I don't really like giving physical gifts as much. I don't like giving some of the more traditional things, but writing letters to me, like giving those out to the kids, or just letting people know that they matter, is like my #1 thing. So that's at least kind of how I feel about it. So that being said, that's where we're at, and I've just rambled for 7 minutes now about about this. Today the kids in social studies continued working on their choice projects. They're going well, and my goodness, do I have some creative kids. Like, these journal entries are amazing, the sketch notes or illustrated notes about these battles are amazing. Like, these kids are blowing me away, and I'm super excited to see them when they're all finished. And then for Spanish, we did a Kahoot to review for a test tomorrow that they have on some of their intro review vocabulary. Otherwise, it's pretty smooth. I'm going to try to get some grading done here during my planning time coming up, and then I think I should be caught up on grades. The downside about the letters is I got a little behind on my grading. Oops. But we're back. We're getting back into the swing of things. It'll be a more normal routine. So that's kind of what we're looking at.